Alright y'all, so another day, another demo. This is number 3, I believe. Today, the demo we're working on is one I did a little bit a while back. I think like over the summer, but this one's definitely more like guitar heavy. It's more riff heavy. This is one where I was kind of experimenting a lot with different like Jazzmaster tones and stuff, trying to emulate kind of like that Johnny Marr sound a little bit, who is the guitarist from the Smiths. But yeah, so I guess let's just jump into it. I don't really have much else to say about that, but yeah, let's get into the project. All right, so right off the bat, we have a guitar intro riff that I played. I believe this one was done on, in Amplitube. So this was done on an Amp Sim. I grabbed the orange rocker Verb Mark II, and I believe I just turned the reverb up a little bit and kind of dialed the tone in here. And then I ran it through the orange cab in here. But this is played on my Jazzmaster, so this is basically the first backing part of the intro here. See if we can bypass that real quick. I don't think this is DI. I might have reamped this from my roll-in chorus. My JC22. So it looks like I didn't really run this through anything. I think I might have had like a pedal or delay in the Amplitube here. Yeah, so I did a chorus, a little bit of EQ. Looks like I boosted a little bit of the mid-highs, around 4.8. I went and added a boost. Looks like a 2 dB boost there. Digital chorus, probably just dialed this in to taste. Let's see. Yeah. So this is just for taste and some EQ. On here, I think I dialed the reverb in a little bit, but yeah, just gave it some attitude with that orange amp. After that, for this little intro part here, I did, I believe, strings. Yep. A little bit of cinematic Mellotron kind of vibes going on here. I absolutely love the Mellotron. If you guys stick around and watch me more, you'll see I absolutely love the Mellotron, but this is... Oh, almost getting to the vocals, not yet. This is a Dream Strings preset. Looks like I added some room with this concert hall. Turned the dry wet knob down a little tiny bit. Looks like I did a tiny bit of EQ as well. Upped the... looks like I didn't touch this too much. Looks like I didn't touch this too much, but... anyways. So that's that, and then I believe I had a bass in here, so this is a Juno bass. This one's off my Juno synth back behind me here. I believe this is just like a standard Juno 60 bass preset, so it's like a sine wave with some pulse width modulation on it, but... So I ran this through a 2A, looks like. Very subtle compression here. Just like, I think that I just use this as like a preamp because to get it off of line level. When the synth goes in line level on the interface, it basically is almost very quiet, so you have to bring that signal up somehow. So I believe I just used this to bring the signal up, and then I think I did the actual compression on the 76. Yep. So -5, -7 dB of gain reduction here on the 76. This is a good preset that I use a lot for bass. It's called Bass Finds Its Place. Basically just has a slow attack and like a little bit faster release. It works good for basically just like long held down bass notes, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. After that, I did a Saturn for some saturation. This is a really good plugin if you want like tube saturation and stuff. I tend to use this a lot on basses. It's like the drive knob. I just turned it up a little bit and mixed this drive knob in to about 60. Just kind of gives it some flavor, as you can see. Kind of the same thing I would do with the Decapitator plugin that I've talked about in previous videos, but alright, so all together for the intro here we have... Kind of leading us into something, right? So it's leading us right into the verse, so I guess not verse. This is more of like a pre-chorus, I think, on this track, but Same guitar track looped from the first one, looped it back through in the backing. So for this section of the song, I added some more guitar tracks. I wanted to do like almost like a symphony of guitar riffs, you know? So I have some of the riffs going in the right ear and I have the other one going in the left ear. This is the right ear. It's fully panned to the right. This is another Amplitube. It's like the same rocker verb amp, but I believe I just dialed this mix in a little bit more. Did some multi-band compression in the high end because I believe it was a little bit unruly with some of those upper harmonics, but yep, just tried to glue it together a little bit more, basically from what it sounds like. The left ear, I did this one. Same thing here. A little bit more mids, turn the treble down a tiny bit, and then same thing, multi-band compressor, just to kind of glue it. The multi-band compressor is good just to make sure that the guitar is like kind of present in your face throughout the whole time the stem is playing out, but is that a stem? No. We'll just say track. All this guitar track's playing out, yeah. So together, with all three guitars, we have... Definitely liked the drier kind of feel I went for with this song. I was kind of going for like a happy kind of like celebration kind of sound, you know, like we're having a party sort of thing. Everything's gonna be all right kind of vibe. Next, for this little pre-chorus part, I brought in another different bass variation, so a different, like a B-side to the bass. The same exact channel here, so same processing as the other bass. And then I believe I did, so I did like a super saw kind of on my Juno. So this is basically just like a super saw, so it's a saw wave with a bunch of, it's like a saw wave and then there's more saw waves to the left, so I'm not sure exactly how many on the Juno. I think it's probably like 3 or 4 or something like that, but after that what I did is change the pulse width modulation, so it's a little bit more like spread, more voices, more spread out. So this is what we got here. Just some saw chords, like stabs. This one I did same thing here, 2A, just to get it from out of line level. Looks like I did a lot more compression on this because I believe the sound needed some glue. Yeah. Definitely needed a little bit of glue, so the 2A was really good at bringing that up. After that we did a J37. This is a really good tape saturation plugin from Waves. Sometimes I use this one, but a lot of the times I'll just use Echo Boy from Sound Toys for this. But this is also a good plugin. It has its uses. I definitely think you'll get like a more realistic tape saturation from this. But I mean, I don't know. It's probably a placebo effect. But I like it. Sometimes it sounds good on synths, and sometimes I use this on drums as well. Just a very subtle amount of flavor on there. Just very subtle harmonic saturation. After that, I did a Pro MB multi-band compressor. Again, this sound was getting a little bit unruly in the mix, I felt like, so it just needed some shaping up and some glue. Definitely helped not take away from the guitars as much, because since I wanted this to be a more guitar heavy track, I felt like having the multi-band compressor on here and gluing this would be better, because it's going to control those upper frequencies that guitars tend to sit in. So looks like I ran this one through a vintage verb as well for some reverb. Yep, that's dry, no reverb. And then for vintage verb, we did Bright Hall, 80's color, did a low cut to 420, 420, and then did a half-second decay on here. That way it wasn't too long, it just kind of took it off the ears a little bit, gave it a tiny bit more dimension. But so all that together, definitely has like that 80's party kind of vibe, I feel like. Vocals on this one, pretty similar vocal chain as you've seen in my videos before, but just real quick, let's see what we have going on here. A few different things, but generally just some preamp here, just to kind of bring the vocal up, give it a little bit of polish, you know, kind of surgically enhance it a tiny bit. After that, we ran it into the 76 to take away most of the higher peaks in the vocal, smoothing it out a tiny bit. After that, we ran it through the 2A, which is an optical compressor. This one just kind of takes what the 76 did and helps it out a little bit, so you get a more, I guess just like a more rounded, cleaner signal. You can have the 76 taking out the high peaks, and then the 2A will kind of take any of the lower ones and kind of just bring them together, you know, just kind of flatten the signal out a tiny bit. Without killing a ton of the dynamics. That's a good way that I like to do it, but after that, we just threw an auto tune on here. Very light. I don't use a ton of auto tune on my stuff. Generally, I try to not be super pitchy when I do my takes, and then this is more of just like a polish. It kind of gives it that almost like signature studio sound, I guess, but I usually keep a low retune speed around 130, and then the humanize I just keep around 30 usually. Set my key. Sometimes I'll do alto tenor, otherwise I'll do soprano, just depending on the key of the song and how it's reacting to the vocal, but after that, I did some Pro Q3, did a high pass all the way up to 80 hertz, rounded it off a tiny bit. There was some build up around 660 hertz, so I did a little bit of a drop there, and then I did the dynamic setting on Fab Filter, Pro Q3. That way it kind of listens to the vocal, and it only dips it down when it thinks when it's needed to what you set it to. Around the 1200 hertz range, there was a little bit of sibilance there, I believe, so I went ahead and cut that out. Just some nasty frequencies, some little bit of cleanup here. Did a 3 dB boost at 10K. That helped the vocals sit above the guitars a little bit easier when I was doing the mix. After that, just a de-esser to get rid of some of those, you know, sibilance. After that, we ran it into a plate. Again, plates are really good for getting that vocal off your ear and just kind of making it sit in the mix a little bit better, not being such a dry signal. Short decay here, copper mode looks like. Nothing too crazy on this one. Vintage Verb, we did a smooth plate. So I believe I use this one as my longer reverb. So a lot of the times when I do vocals, it's good to have a short throw reverb. That way you kind of get like the initial off your ear, and then you use a longer reverb so that way there's some tail, there's some decay behind the vocal. That kind of just helps it sit in the mix a little bit better, and kind of just blend in with like the farther back parts of the mix. It kind of lets it sit in the world a little bit better, if that makes sense. But after that, we ran it through a Dimension. Again, Dimension is a really good tool for adding width to your vocal. So generally when you record in mono, you'll have a signal that's very narrow and directly in your face. What the chorus Dimension does is it basically just takes that signal that's more squished and it just widens it out a tiny bit. That way the vocal is more like in this area of your face rather than just kind of like right in the middle of your nose, if that makes sense. I'll show you what I mean with this.
This is the thing that you've waited for
right
your
there,
whole damn life.
No.
This is the thing that
It's more like here.
This is the thing that
With the Dimension, it's
This is the thing that
more out here, like in your face, you know?
waited.
I usually just mix this into taste. Almost always I'll have this around half when I do like my mixing on my demos, but so anyways, here's the whole thing with the vocal.
This is the thing that you've waited for your whole damn life, and no one will ever take that from you, or take it from you.
Alright, so jumping into like the little chorus thing that I did. Basically I did like a little shout kind of vocal. Did a countdown.
1, 2, 3, go!
Trying to kind of just count it down into when the drums kick in. Just trying to make it fun and add some vibe, you know. On top of that we had, looks like some strums here. No, so this is that same super saw. Just different chords. So I switched the chords out on that super saw on my Juno. Just to kind of, you know, when you come into a chorus, you don't always want to use the same chord progression. So sometimes your backing tracks and stuff need to complement the melody that you're gonna have in the chorus. So basically, I just did a little bit of a switch up here, so that way it would support the rest of the thing a little bit better. After that, re-recorded the bass with a slightly different progression on the bass on the Juno. It's a pop progression, pretty simple. It's like 1-5, 1-6-4-5, I think. So another guitar riff I recorded in on the center guitar. Really trying to go for the Smiths kind of vibe here. I messed up right there, but that's all good. Definitely wanted that like surfy drip, like Johnny Marr kind of sound for this track. Absolutely love the Smiths, and I was trying to emulate that with my Jazzmaster with this track, but Did a lower, looks like I did a lower one on the low E string. Just trying to kind of, I guess trying to add some body to the other riff to try to complement it a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. Just a lower guitar part. Sometimes I'll like to imagine like maybe what I would play on a bass guitar, and then I'll just play it on the Jazzmaster, and sometimes the two like pair together really nicely. So that's what I did on this one. On to drums real quick here. This was a live kit set from Addictive Drums 2. The Miami kit, Fairfax Volume 2, Miami preset. I believe I turned the room down a tiny bit on this one. Turn the overheads up a little bit. I've noticed on my track sometimes that if I have like, say like a vocal or an instrument that is more dry and it doesn't have as much reverb, a lot of the times if you throw a drum tone on there that has too much room, it'll kind of throw the balance of things off. So sometimes I'll just go ahead and turn that room tone down, or I'll turn the room tone back up, just depending on what the mix is calling for, if that makes sense. But right on the border of like grunge almost. It's kind of grungy, but has like that alternative hip hop kind of sound to it as well. So I thought that matched the attitude and energy of the track really well. So altogether, with the instruments, the instrumental. So we end off this little pre-chorus part here. We count it down. Again, just trying to have like that fun, jumpy energy to it, you know? A little resolve there. Assuming I'd probably go back into another verse or something like that, but if I was to sit down and finish this, at least, which I should, it's decent, it's good. With the vocal, spitballing here.
All my friends, they wanna get you. All my friends, they wanna get you. All my friends, all my friends, they wanna get you. All my friends, they wanna let you. All my friends, they wanna get you. They wanna get you. They wanna get you.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for this demo, guys. There's not much else to this. If I was to come back and work on this again, I think I would probably try to add a little bit more variation to the guitars for like a verse part. This definitely needs a verse. I think it's got a strong pre-chorus. It's got a strong chorus. Definitely would need some more TLC for sure to kind of make it into a full track. But other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I'm actually having a lot of fun with this, believe it or not. Generally, I kind of get burnt out if I do videos like this consecutively, but for whatever reason, like when I'm working on demos and stuff and music, like I don't really mind doing one every day. But eventually, I'll probably run out of demos that I've already worked on, and I'll have to start writing some fresh stuff, obviously. But it'll kind of be the same format, but it'll just be us going through it as I do it, rather than just kind of like a track breakdown. If you're somebody that enjoys making music, or you're a songwriter, producer, I wish you luck in your songwriting process and endeavors. If you're somebody that's not into making music, I hope you were able to enjoy the video and get something out of this, and, you know, maybe start trying it out yourself if you're somebody that's interested in making music. But that's going to pretty much wrap it up. Thanks for watching the video, and yeah, I guess peace. Peace, guys.
They wanna let you. All my friends, they wanna get you. They wanna get you. They wanna get you.